videotaping here. To avoid mishaps out on the road or trail, it's important to inspect your bike after washing it and before each and every ride. To make it easier to remember the steps of an inspection, we use the M method. The first point of the M is the rear wheel. Attach a pump and make sure your tire is inflated to the recommended pressure printed on the sidewall of your tire. If the pressure is too low, inflate the tire to the recommended range. Check out Trek's YouTube channel for help inflating your tires. If you're running a tubeless tire setup, we recommend adding fresh tubeless sealant every 6 months. Our Trek certified service technicians offer handy service stickers to help you remember when it's time for a refresh. Check the brake pads for wear and spin your wheel to make sure it spins freely through the brakes with no rubbing. If they rub, and you've checked to make sure the wheel is seated correctly in the dropouts, you may need to adjust your brakes. Your local Trek retailer would be happy to help with this adjustment. Moving up the seat post to the saddle, twist your saddle side to side, making sure the seat post clamp is tight and holding the saddle and seat post securely in place. With your bike on the ground, drop the rear of the bike from about ankle height. Listen for any rattles or other odd noises. This could mean that something is loose or worn out and should be taken into your local Trek retailer for service. Moving down to the crankset, spin both pedals and check for any creaks or other sounds. Also, grab both pedals and torque side to side, checking for any play in the pedal or crank system. Spin the crank backwards. Listen for any creaks or squeaks in the chain or shifting system. General chain noise could mean that your chain needs to be lubed, but shifting noises usually need to be brought to a local Trek retailer for a closer look. Moving back up to the handlebars, with your bike on the ground, drop the front of the bike from about ankle height. Listen for any rattles or other odd noises like you did for the rear wheel. Twist the area to ensure the stem and handlebar are tight. Check the brake pads for wear. And lastly, give the brakes a squeeze to make sure they engage without pulling the lever all the way back to the handlebar. If the brakes are not working properly, replacement parts and service can be found at your local Trek retailer. The last point is the front wheel. Repeat the same process you used for the rear wheel. Inflate the tires, do a check of your sealant if you have a tubeless setup, check the brake pads for wear, and spin your wheel to make sure it spins freely through the brakes with no rubbing. If they rub, and you've checked to make sure the wheel is seated correctly in the dropouts, you may need to adjust your brakes. Regular maintenance at your local Trek retailer will keep components running smoothly and can catch issues before they become problems. Check out trekbikes.com to find your local Trek service provider.